What's going on with the twin flame energy? Right away, the death card. Okay, and a bunch of all these cards came up. Too many cards. There's definitely something about moving out of their home quickly, moving out of their jobs, moving out of their relationships, moving out of their money situation, moving out of their homes. There's something happening with the twin flames, and it's happening right now. There's been a huge energy. I'm recording this around the Scorpio full moon. The week prior, Pluto went retrograde, 3 degrees Aquarius, and then there was 2 portal days in between. And those portal days, literally, I talked to so many of my spiritual friends, and so many masculines, unprompted, came to me and were like, oh my God. There's like huge changes in their belief systems and wanting to adjust their lives and live differently according to these big epiphanies, downloads, truths that they're figuring out, things that they're like recognizing for the first time, putting together, and big things are happening in the twin flame energy. So yeah. Okay. So by the way, I'm Mystic Mia. This is a Moment Tarot, and we've already started on the twin flame energies right now. So let's see what's going on with the masculine. What's going on with the masculine? The devil. Okay, so their emotions are extremely volatile right now, so be careful. I had the honor and dishonor of dealing with masculines of many ranges at different places in their spiritual journey. From those who are, awakened, have been doing inner work, have some sort of spiritual practice, but still very much in their masculine energy, rooted in like physical, material things. But that was a very pleasant conversation. It's kind of like a great back and forth, with a feminine and masculine. Almost like they're coming from an almost balanced place, which was really nice. Someone who was on the spiritual journey, but not as further along as maybe I would be. And granted, I am much further along in advance than most people who are just awakened or awakening now. So don't be discouraged. Like, there's so many more people who are just awakening now. And I had to put some boundaries up with them, being like, hey, when people are just in their spiritual awakening, they're like, oh my God, this is happening and that happening and this sign and this, rabbit hole I went down and that and that. And I was like, excuse me, I'm a human being. I don't mind being a friend. You can talk to me, not at me. If that doesn't change, we're going to have to, change things, or I don't know what you want from this connection, but I'm not just going to be a sounding board or therapist or whatever. You can't treat me like that. I could be a friend or not. And then I had the displeasure of dealing with someone who is an NPC, which is someone who is so caught up in the matrix and, hasn't even done an ounce of inner work yet. And it's like very disillusioned, and that was very unpleasurable. Hopefully the last time I have to deal with someone like that in my close circles. Actually, I made it a definite move for a long time now. This is a final move to make sure I don't have to deal with anyone like that unless I want to, who is going haywire. They have unresolved emotional issues coming up, and they don't know they don't know that that's happening, let alone pinpoint it and know how to resolve it. And they're lashing out on this. Not good. Not good. All right, so let's see how the masculine is feeling towards the feminine. I'm starting to understand our connection, and it came out in reverse. So it depends on where they are on their journey, but it definitely feels like this is going to be a wake-up call. Like the masculine getting in touch with the feminine, and I am a spiritual practitioner, and I connect with a lot of spiritual people. So I am a really good mirror for a lot of my spiritual friends, and they are a really good mirror for me. So, you can connect with people who are in the masculine energy that are not exactly your twin flame or a romantic interest, but even just a friend or family member or someone that's an acquaintance or something, you know? So a lot of people forget that, like, the twin flame energy isn't just like you and your twin flame. It's like that masculine, feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine energy is in a lot of connections that you connect with. They just might not be as potent as your exact mirror, like your twin flame, but a lot of people around you, if they are on your same frequency, they can mirror very well for you. Even people who are not on your level mentally, emotionally, and spiritually will still be able to be a mirror if they're around you a lot, you know, or if you interact with them a lot. Okay, so I'm starting to understand this connection. It came out in reverse, so it's a huge sign that the masculine is touching base with the divine feminine is giving them a clarity and window into what this connection with them actually is and what this connection within themselves actually is, because they're connecting to the divine feminine within themselves. They're awakening to what the world is really like, how it can be better, and how to even deal with some of their emotional issues with the mirror of the divine feminine. The divine feminine in their environment, in their external, the person is helping them find that divine feminine within themselves, you know? Okay, so what are their thoughts? What are they thinking about? What's going on with them? Page of Swords. They're thinking a lot. They have a lot of thoughts in their minds. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're overthinking a lot. Okay, Three of Swords and King of Pentacles. They are kind of heartbroken in a bit. They're kind of heartbroken over the fact that what they thought their life was going to be like is probably not going to happen. So they probably thought that, like, that they were going to work really hard and get this promotion, or, you know, if they did all these right moves, they were going to get that perfect, you know, wife and kids and family, or, you know, that as soon as they do solve this issue or accomplish this goal, then everything else will fall into place magically. And so they're getting a little bit of their bubble popped, and they're getting a glimpse into a realistic future for them coming up. And for the masculine, who are more physically oriented, materially oriented, it's a little bit like kind of, you know, realizing that, like, when you're rich, it means that you're going to be rich with connections and love and things to do that are meaningful every day, rather than maybe rich with land and cars and, you know, money and all that. You know, like, it might be like the richness, the wealth is spread across all areas, not just in that one material, physical career or whatever physical oriented thing that they thought it was going to look like, you know? So they're coming a little bit into reality by stepping into their feminine and stepping into their more sensitive emotional side. They're getting a glimpse of a realistic future. They might not get that promotion. They may not be able to get into that lifestyle. They might not, like, you know, like, they're kind of, as they're realizing that, like, what the world is really like, they're kind of getting a more realistic realization of what their future might look like. Even in the spiritual, even if they're spiritual, even if they've been doing spiritual work and stuff, they're realizing it's not going to be as magical as what they thought, you know, even then. Okay, so let's see what they think about the feminine. Okay. Daydreamer, Page of Cups. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords, Page of Cups. So you can see that the masculines are having a very difficult time emotionally. They're trying to connect with their feminine, and it's kind of exploding in their face. They're trying to connect with their emotions. They're trying to connect with their beliefs, and it's like kind of overwhelming them. And that's an understatement. But they have a lot on their mind. They have a lot in their heart. And this came up in hand. So, like, they have a lot of love for you, feminine. Whether this is a friend or a love interest, a family member, or an acquaintance, like, whoever this person is, and it might be reflected in many areas of your life, they actually, you know, like you and think the world of you in some ways. Like, you know, they want to protect you and nurture you, and like they want to be nice towards you, but I think they just don't know how to at this time. They're very overwhelmed, a lot going on in their mind and a lot going on in their heart, but they do see you as someone they can talk to. And so just be forewarned, if you feel kind of attacked, or if you feel kind of used, or if you feel kind of like, why are they going on about this? Or why are they treating me like this? Just be aware that like they're very overwhelmed, and they actually think you as a person, a specific feminine, and don't worry, I'm going to do the masculine side next. They think that you're a safe spot for them. So if whether they're being volatile and reactionary, or oblivious and, you know, ranting, or, you know, coming at a more balanced place, but just more curious and realizing they're not the only one who feels this way or have thought that, no matter how mild or extreme it is, the reason that they feel like they can say that to you or come to you is because they feel in some way, maybe small or like, you know, little ways or big ways, that you're someone that they can trust with this, that might understand this. So just be aware of that. We'll look at actions and such after we look at the feminine side. So divine feminines, how are they feeling at this time? The doors are opening for the divine feminine. So I do feel like the divine feminines are getting some plans that was kind of hard to see start to come together. And that's great, because you can see the masculines are catching up with the feminines. So now the feminines, who naturally lead with vision and ideas and things like that, are already moving into the next energy, which is why even like the masculines that are kind of more coming from a balanced place are kind of like, hey, I'm here. And the feminine's like, oh yeah, like that's great you're here. Like I was just thinking about that in the last few months, or, you know, last 6 or 8 months. I just did that inner work too, but I'm already on to the next thing. So like the divine masculines are always going to feel like they're a step behind, even if they are at the same place as the feminine, because the feminines naturally lead in this way. So that's kind of a little bit of a funny anecdote. So how are the divine feminines feeling about their divine masculines? Ooh. I love you. Aw. Okay, that just like flipped out in such a cute, surprising way. I feel like the divine feminines are not afraid to be like, hey, I like you as a friend, I like you as a person, yeah, you know, I really want the best for you, like I care for, you know, those around me and those in my circle, like I've cared for you, I've like done right by you, I want us to have a good connection, like, you know, whatever it is, like the divine feminines have not been shy in expressing their love for their masculine energies, whereas before the divine feminine was very careful with who they express their love to, because you were always just hit, divine feminine, with some hard truth mirrored back to you, and it was just like so hard to get to a place where you love yourself enough that you feel okay telling people around you that you love them and you like their company and that you like them as a person, or, you know, you appreciate their friendship or whatever it is, you appreciate their interest or whatever it is, like, you know. So divine feminine is in just such a good spot that they can finally, the divine feminines can probably see things finally coming together in their life, which wasn't going to happen until the masculines kind of could catch up with them. And until you can have that love for yourself very secure, the divine feminine is coming from a very secure place of love for themselves, and that's why they can handle the masculines going through all of this. You know, you can hold down the fort for the both of them. Okay, so let's see what the divine feminine is thinking about nowadays. What's on the divine feminine's mind? Okay. Security, home. I do get the sense that the divine feminine is like, hey, you know, I don't know if the divine masculine is going to come around. I don't know if the divine masculine is going to be able to provide for me or be able to catch up with me at this time in my life. Like, I don't know. Like, if they do, that's great, but I'm not waiting around from them anymore. I'm going to be making moves to make sure that I can look out for my safety and security. And you're coming from a very loving place, divine feminines, to be able to kind of finally be like, hey, I'm not waiting for my divine masculines. The divine masculine within me is ready, but not only divine masculine within yourself, divine feminines, but like your divine feminine is finally in a good place. Your divine feminine is finally in a place where you can express your vulnerabilities, express the sweet, innocent purity, strong, fierce, loyal, and can defend yourself with all the positive, strong qualities that feminines have. Because feminines, they can fight. They can fight with words. They can fight with ideas. They can fight, physically, whatever. Feminines can fend for themselves in a feminine way. But not only that, divine feminines, you also have a very healed masculine within you, which is apparent with the kind of masculines that come up in your life. If you have a varied amount of masculines to show up in your life, like me, it's probably because you're a spiritual teacher. And that it's your job to kind of know what's going on in the collective. Yay, fun me. Okay, but if not, you're going to be able to see by the type of masculine that shows up in your life. If you can see that you've you're probably getting a kind of like this too. You're probably getting at least 2, if not more, different masculine energies showing up in your life to kind of show you where you are in your masculine energies, to kind of get that mirror to understand what you're capable of, what you can do for yourself too. Okay, so what's going on with your life? I'm going to look at what you're thinking about the masculine after. 9 of Wands. Yeah, you have a lot of things going on. 5 of Wands, a lot of changes. I feel like you're in a busy, busy, busy state, divine feminine. At this time, this month, oh my goodness, so busy. With so many changes that are happening around you. So many small changes, so many small shifts. Things are finally getting off the ground. Things are finally moving forward. There's just a lot going on there. Let's see how the divine feminines what they're thinking about their divine masculines. What are the divine feminines' thoughts about their divine masculines? The hopeless romantic, the Knight of Cups. See, like the masculines at the Page of Cups, like can appreciate the divine feminine, but doesn't know exactly how to express it. Divine feminine here, at least those who are viewing this reading, they are a step up than the masculines, but you can see that neither one has the King of Cups. So both of you are kind of like at a place where you have softness towards that opposite energy within yourself. So if you're a female, you have softness towards that masculine energy within yourself. If you're a male, you're having a little bit more softness towards the feminine aspect within yourself. So both the divine feminine and masculines are softening up to each other, to the other energy. Okay? And having more love for that aspect of themselves. Divine feminine, it's like, yeah, you should have a man that can, protect you and stand up for you. It's like, yeah, that in an ideal world, it'd be great if, people knew who they were and could be those roles in a marriage or a relationship or whatever. But we're living in weird times, and we're setting up new structures and new rules for society, and we're the ones leading the way of how that looks within relationships, not just romantic relationships, but also in relationships of all kinds, friendships, teacher-mentor, parent-child, and friends, friendships as well. So like we're showing how we're evolving into this next type of relationships, and it's so difficult for twin flames to kind of figure that out, like what does it look like? What do you have to do to get there? What do you need to work on within yourself? And noticing that, like, in order to manifest it externally, you have to kind of recognize it and work on that energy within yourself. So divine feminines, you have to like recognize the divine masculine within yourself and work on that relationship with yourself. And the divine masculines have to do the same within the divine feminine within themselves. It's just like a very weird thing to do because a lot of females grew up with toxic masculine ideologies. They had to adopt a lot of masculine energies and masculine habits. And the divine feminines didn't even know where to start. In order to kind of go into this emotional, spiritual, divine feminine areas, like you had to start from scratch. You didn't have any examples kind of, or really good ones around you for most of us. And then even divine masculines, like it was like the divine feminine was like completely taken off, and they kind of went into either masculine energy, lack of masculine energy or toxic masculinity. There was like no balance, you know? So the masculines were, unfortunately, a disadvantage more in terms of spiritual, emotional, and sometimes mental, kind of like the unseen stuff. But they were also at an advantage because they can work more with the systems, the physical systems here. So like we have a lot we had to figure out, you know? Oh my goodness. And so now that both twin flames recognize like that you need to see that within yourself, work on that within your own energies, then and not expect that in another person, you'd accept it. You know, you'd be open to it, but you're not going to expect that. You're going to do it for yourself. You're going to figure out like what this looks like for you in your life moving forward, because you're that example, and that's just the price being a way shower comes with, right? All right, so let's look at, I'm going to look at what's going on with the masculine's life, actions on both sides, and then lastly, a message for each twin flame. Okay, so what's going on with the masculine's life right now? The stork, change, transformation, new beginning, fidelity, oh, it's flexibility, not fidelity, movement, but I said fidelity. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of things are changing for the masculine energy, and they're kind of like figuring things out right now. Let's see. King of Pentacles, yeah. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse here. They're figuring it out, and they'll do it faster. They'll probably do it faster than the Divine Feminine, like in terms of how to change their physical life around. They just have more practice in it. They're just kind of more inclined to that. So the Divine Masculines are going to be able to figure out, even with this massive change happening in their physical life, they're going to be able to turn it on really quickly. Divine Feminines, it might take you ages. It might have taken you ages to kind of be like, okay, this is the move I need to make in the physical. You must have done some way more hardcore, like inner work in terms of emotional stuff, traumas, healing, purging, finding your identity. Like when it comes to the emotional part, the mental part, the spiritual part, you did it with such intensity, but it took you a second to figure out all the physical stuff along the way. Not that you haven't, not that you didn't do big moves and did really big things physically and materially and monetarily, but you probably were kind of pulled back a little bit because you needed to finish your spiritual stuff, your feminine stuff. And this is kind of like all awakening people in general, whether you're male or female, like even if you're more masculine energy and more physically inclined and able to manifest things in the physical faster, or know how to get things done in certain ways, and you know certain people to network with, or where to get certain resources, or you know where to work, oh my god, where to work, and where to put your energies and efforts in, and where not to. Like the masculines might be more inclined to that, but like anyone who's on the spiritual journey, like you were probably pulled back a little bit to work on your spiritual aspect, your healing, your emotional, your mental, and stuff like that, right? So now it seems like both twin flames in general are having more moves happen in the physical. There's more movement and changes happening in the physical. Oh my god, so much stuff is happening in the physical. Twin flames are moving forward now, finally, right? It's time. But the masculines are going to have an easier time kind of adopting to new changes because they know what to do and how to do it better sometimes, okay? This is how it is, I know. But it's not like the Divine Feminines are not. Like, things are coming together. This is emotional stability. 9 of Cups. And it kind of hit this, like, I love you, the 5 of Wands here, and the 9 of Wands there. 5 and 9 of Wands. So don't be nervous. If the masculines, these changes are going to be really good because they have this epiphany that they had recently is kind of like they know what they need to do now. It's almost like they needed, like, it wasn't like a sad epiphany, but it wasn't like a very like uberly magical like mystical, fantastical epiphany. It was more realistic, happy, truthful, which makes the masculine happy, but kind of like more realistic. And so now the masculines feel really great because like now that they know what is expected of them and what they can do and what this future kind of looks like moving forward, which is why they kind of connect with the divine feminines to get a kind of vision for the future, goals for the future. They know what to do and they're going to make moves on it pretty quickly. And what about the divine feminine? Oh, let me see what actions they're going to take first. What actions is the masculine going to take? Unlearn. Okay, so yeah, we can see that they're like getting rid of the thoughts that they of the life that they thought they were going to have. I think even up till very recently, no matter how long your masculine's been on their journey, even if they're NPC, apparently, they're realizing that the life that they thought they were going to have isn't what's going to happen. If they're on their spiritual journey, if they're awakened, they realize this is a good thing. If they're further along the spiritual journey, they're going to think of, they're going to see the positive aspects more than the negative. If they're more on the NPC or just newly awakened, they're probably going to be like, have a rough moment of it at first, you know, and kind of have to come to terms with like, oh, what they thought life was going to be like is not what it was going to actually be like, you know. And then Queen of Cups. I would not be surprised if they kind of look at more like divination type sessions. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they go to like a psychic or a tarot card reader, or if they try to like practice some of those practices themselves. Like I would not be surprised if they're looking into more spiritual things for sure, and looking into love, not just like, you know, unlearning things in terms of life in the future and physical aspects, but also in terms of marriage and relationships and what that might look like moving forward. Okay, so what does the divine feminine have going on in their life? Coffin, endings, yeah. Endings. It says sadness, depression, illness, transformation, but I'm getting more of a transportation. I think if the divine feminine is feeling kind of exhausted and tired and sick of like having to deal with this, to the point where the divine feminine is like, yeah, I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm just gonna move forward. I'm not even gonna think with the masculine, you know, like whatever happens in the future, it's just me and people I'm responsible for, and for a lot of divine feminine, it's just yourself, which is great. And I'm going to be okay with that, and that's what I'm going to move forward with. You know, like you have to be like okay with yourself and your life now, and feel like you're living your best life right now to get more of that, you know, and feel like you can exercise those masculine responsibilities, quote unquote, yourself, but still in a feminine way, still maintaining your feminine energy, you know, and that's like your master test right there. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, there we go. So that is absolutely what the divine feminine is doing right now. Recognizing that, like, if she wants these things outside of herself, I mean, of course you deserve it, but that you can do it yourself. But your ultimate test here is to see if you can maintain your divine feminine energy while still exerting your masculine energy. And, you know, not letting one take advantage of the other. And 7 of Wands here. Not be so defensive, you know. They're like, I deserve this life. Why haven't I had it? Like, the guy should be taking care of this. Like, you know, like, why do I have to work this hard? Like, this system is wrong. This is all, you know, it's all shit. It's like, just like recognizing, like, this is life. This is where I'm at now. This is great. Like, I'm living a fantastic life now. If I can, like, improve it, then I'm going to do that. And I'm the one who's responsible for my life, and I'm going to make the choices and better choices and keep moving forward. Like, regardless of who's in my life, and if a guy comes along, or if people come along, or the opportunities come along, that are right for me, then that's great. But if not, I'm going to, you know, be able to maintain this high frequency state of mind and way of being and living keep it up. You know, that's the test. You have to keep doing it until you get to a really, really concrete, solid place in yourself, right? There's no one to blame but yourself. And you're not even blaming yourself. You're just like, yeah, like, this is what it takes to be a secure, good person. Like, a secure person who's, like, living their passions, living the life that they are meant to live, you know? This is what it looks like. Okay, the Divine Feminine's actions towards the masculine. Nine of Swords, anxiety. So we have the Nine of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and now the Nine of Swords on the Divine Feminine side. So a lot of nines. So you can see that there are definitely a lot of endings. Divine Feminines, you must be exhausted with all the things ending, all the things changing, all the new things coming in that you have to plan for and working towards. There's a lot of stuff going on for the Divine Feminines. Busy, busy, busy. Okay, and what about towards the masculine? Six of Pentacles, sharing. I feel like the Divine Feminine is like less weird about sharing with the masculines their plans or ideas or their heart or their advice or their lending their ear or having a conversation or stuff like that. Sharing time with them. Like the Divine Feminine is like way so secure in themselves and their life that they have time to just kind of have the masculine in their life in the small or big ways that they want them to be in their life. It's less weird for the Divine Feminines to have the masculines in their life. And if for very, very, very few of you, this is with your actual twin flame. For most of you, this is probably going to be other divine masculines in your life. Other masculine energies that are working towards that divine masculine energy, or, you know, can mirror that masculine energy within you in a way that's helpful to you. So, yeah, the divine feminine is like, yeah, I can share. You know, it's not weird for me to do that now. Whereas before, you might have been very much more guarded in this aspect. All right, and so lastly, I want to see what message Spirit has for the both of you right now. Let's see, for the masculine, advice. Okay, so this fell off the table, which is my sign that this is kind of like a hidden deal. Or what do you need to forgive? As you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. So you will find that the masculines, they're going to change their tune. So I feel like you might have like an update. Like they might have had come at you in one way at the beginning of the month, and then you'll find that they'll come at you in a different way at the end, at the second half of the month, just because they have that realization. And they had a realization, they touched base with the feminine, and they had even more clarity on their life and these energies and whatever's going on. And they're going to cool down, calm their anger if they came at you viciously, but also like come at you more respectfully if they just kind of were unaware how they're coming off not right, not correct. And then if they're coming from a balanced place, they're probably going to come towards you with, you know, a little bit more respect and understanding for something that you mentioned that, you know, you obviously have a mastery in, or have like more of knowledge in regards to your intuition, your emotions, or something that you told the masculine about, something along those lines, something that using your intuition about some emotional issue they're having or something. Okay. And then 2 cards came up for the masculine actually. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You finished one part of your life, and now a new and even better part is beginning. They are having a huge life overhaul. Like literally, it's like night and day for what's happening in their life. For the Divine Feminines, it's pregnancy. The birth of a child brings great blessings to you in the world. So the Divine Feminines are bringing into the world a brand new idea, a brand new adventure, a brand new chapter in their life, and something that's probably going to, you know, last for a very long time. And it's very, very important. It's going to influence your life for quite a bit of time. Okay, so it's a masculine and feminine. It came out kind of in the middle. So I do feel like the spirit is saying that the masculine is going to approach the feminine again at the end of the month, or in the second half of the month. So the spirit was kind of confirming that. In terms of this, the Page of Pentacles. And so we have a lot of pages, the Page of Cups, the Page of Swords, and now the Page of Pentacles on the masculine side. So you can see that this is all very new for the divine masculines, or even if you've been friends with them for a long time, dating them on and off, had them as an acquaintance, a family member, whatever it is, this masculine, they're still trying to figure out this new world, this new chapter of their life. Everything's new, fresh to them. They're trying to make sense of it. It's like their divine feminine, for some of them, just came online for the first time. For others, it's like they're having epiphanies that's coming on stronger. They're having kind of a deeper awakening or eureka moment that's kind of pushing them along further. So whatever happened this past week, this huge download, this huge surge of divine energy that came onto the earth, affected people on all levels so incredibly strongly. So the masculines are just like kind of getting their footing. So like, you know, they're gonna have some sort of reaction. But I do feel like they're working on getting things together. Oh, there's Knight of Pentacles, not the King of Pentacles. Yeah. So they're just starting to build up this new life in a physical way. So you can probably see them working on a lot of stuff in terms of their home, their career, and blah, blah, blah. But the Divine Feminine is doing that as well. The Divine Feminine, you're dealing with all those physical things in a different way. You are, let's see. For Divine Feminines, it's going to be more of a surprise for you how this pregnancy, quote unquote, comes about. Yeah, there's a lot of energy coming in. And surprisingly, Divine Feminine, there's a lot of energy coming in for, because usually when the 10 of Wands is in reverse, it's like a lot of energy coming in for you, a lot of downloads. But this is a lot of energy and downloads coming in for someone around you. So it could be this child. It could be that you're just becoming more intuitive and this child is making you more intuitive if you're actually going to be physically pregnant. But I definitely feel like it's people around you. So Divine Feminine, I feel like it's like your masculine, or some friends around you, or some potential caretakers like family members, close friends, neighbors, co-workers, like people who would... like if you were pregnant, like would look out for you kind of thing. I feel like there's like those kinds of people, new or old, coming in. New or old or current ones that are coming in a more significant way in your life, if that makes sense. Okay. And then for the Twin Flames overall, message from Spirit. Walk away. Leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy new doors that open as a result. Yeah, like things are... that are not good, the faster you can walk away from these unhealthy situations in your old cycles that no longer resonate with you, people, places, things, situations, the faster you will reach physical success and specifically monetary success. So I do see success in work, in if you need money for something, if you need money for that move, if you need more money from like a promotion from your work in general, if you want more money or success in a new passion project of yours, a side gig or something that you're putting a new business or something, you want more money for you and your family, if you want more money to just live life, like these, you will get more money if you just walk away from things that no longer serve you from your old cycles faster rather than not. That's the message from Spirit, Twin Flames. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I wish you much love and light.